Welcome back, y'all. Today I'm with my grandma, and I'm gonna ask her some questions about her childhood. So the first one, what were some of your earliest memories of your childhood?
An incident happened in my school, which I remember when I was in second grade. They made us sow some seeds in the field, and that time I had no idea that how the plant grows. So we were made to water the seeds for almost 4 to 5 days, and then we were so all of us were so excited because it started sprouting. So we felt like we have done such a big thing, and we could see that, and these were like beans
Yeah.
which we have sown, and like that was something which made all of us very happy. So this was the first field activity we did as a second grader student. So that's what I remember.
How has your personality developed over the years, like based on the things you've experienced, all the changes you went through, and more?
So when I was like average student in my primary school, which is like till fifth grade, but in fifth grade we had a story in our syllabus. That story was about Mary Curie, Madam Mary Curie, and when we read that, that really inspired me, and I thought I also want to become like Mary Curie. And when we read that story, like how she discovered radium and all that, and how it helped the patient, so that's the time when I started thinking that I will take science whenever I grow up and I will become a scientist. So that was a real inspiration to me, reading her story.
How does your relationship with your siblings as a child compare to how it is now?
I had two sisters and one brother, and my brother was all the time doing masti, and that means he was like very kind of carefree kind,
Yeah.
and he was always playful and not at all serious about studies, and most of the time he was into plays and dances and all that, whereas my older sister was very pretty, and she was very fond of fashions, and I was like not at all beautiful, like always considered as non-fashionable and not good looking. So, everyone used to love my sister a lot, especially in the school because she was very pretty. But then those teachers, they loved me more because they found that I was good in studies. So our relationship was good, but then it was like I always had that inferiority complex that I'm not beautiful as compared to my older sister.
You are very beautiful. Did you ever have any frightening moments in your childhood? And if so, how did they affect your overall growth as a person?
Once I was playing in the garden, in the playground in the school, and we had a fence on the sides, and it has spikes on the fence because that was Thorny's fence. And so we were like, when we were playing, I by accidentally I happened to clutch that particular fence, and it hurt my fingers, and the it went into my finger, into my middle finger, and it was bleeding very badly, and I was very scared because I was like, first time I've ever had that incident. My finger was not coming out of that fence.
Oh.
It was so badly struck. So that's the time I was really frightened, and they had to call the doctor and treat, and the mark is still there on my finger. So that's something which reminds me, like I was really scared of that.
Yeah.
And those were the timings when there was, it was like China was attacking, and we had certain, what you call, certain trenches made on the in the grounds, where if an alarm siren comes that any of the aeroplanes are coming from the other side who are attacking us, we had to hide into that. So that is when this incident happened, that we were trying to hide, and then I came out, and then I tried to catch it, and then so I always related with the war and with the fear and with the scare we had during those times. That is something which was very frightening for me that time.
So what were your childhood fears and how did you overcome them?
The biggest childhood fear I had was that I always wanted to top. So if any student comes get better marks, I was always scared that the teacher will start liking that student more. So I always had to prove myself to be on the top. So even if it is a difference of 1 mark, that was my major fear, that I should not be second, I have to be on the top. So I always like tried my best to be on the top. So that was my fear, and because of that, I used to study more, and I used to be in my. I wanted to be loved by my teachers and liked by my teachers, and that's what I had to struggle to come up to their expectations.
What were your childhood dreams of adulthood? Like, what did you want to be when you grow up? Where did you want to live?
I wanted to be scientist,
Mm-hmm.
not doctor. But
Yeah.
in our 11th grade, in our high school in India, they have something called as a competition, which is called National Science Talent Competition. So if you win that, if you come in that, get selected, you get a scholarship. So it is like 150 rupees that time. So that time it was a big amount for us in our school times. And I got that scholarship, and we were like from not very well to do family. So for me that scholarship meant a lot. So if I go for that scholarship, I could have become scientist. But because my elder sister had some disease and she was sick, and that's the time when I thought, no, I will go for medical profession. But then, because I selected a branch called microbiology, I was able to fulfill my dream of becoming a scientist because of my discipline in microbiology, because you investigate and you look for diseases.
Yeah.
So I could do both. There was a time when I wanted to go to London and get settled there. I had my uncle in London,
Mm-hmm.
my maternal uncle, and he adopted me as a daughter. So I was very happy that I will go and live in London. I always had a dream. But then when I grew up, I realized that it's not that easy, because there was a lot of language problem, and we were from not from English medium school. So for me, it was like very difficult to go and adjust there. So I
Yeah.
couldn't go and settle in London or in UK, but that was my dream. I always used to look up to my uncle who used to stay in UK that time.
Did you ever have a nickname of any sort?
Yes, yes, it was called Bubbly.
Oh. How was the growth of your daughters similar or different to yours? Like, maybe did you have any similar hobbies, like dealing with puberty, stuff like that?
So my daughters were very much influenced by my husband, because I was too busy in my profession that I couldn't give much time to my daughters, and they were like I was always busy, and it was always my husband who was taking care of my daughters. And my daughters had more of they had all the habits which my husband had. So they were fond of watching crickets, they were fond of seeing the Bollywood movies
Yeah.
and listening the songs, seeing all the latest movies, all the heroes and heroines, actors and actresses of Bollywood.
Yeah.
They knew the names I did not. They knew all the names of cricketers which I did not. So I was like, they were very different from me.
Yeah.
Their childhood was more influenced by media, by TV. But in my time, we did not have TV, and we were not influenced so much by TV.
What were some of your favorite memories with your parents?
My father was very encouraging, and he used to feel very proud of me whenever I used to get my report card, which if it is written first, so he used to feel very proud, and he will make lot of he will tell all his friends, and he will distribute sweets, and he will celebrate it. And with my mother, it was mostly when I used to come home, so she was always ready with our lunch, hot lunch. And but we did not have dining table in our house that time when I was studying. So we used to sit on the floor, and it was like cold floor in summers, and we used to enjoy food, which was home cooked, very delicious food by her.
If you could change one thing of your childhood, what would it be?
In our timings, we never had any luxury, as a childhood. So even to get a teddy bear was like a dream for us. So like nowadays children, they get so many things, they don't value it. But for me, the first toy I could get was when I was in 7th or 8th grade. The first toy I got was a doll which was given on a festival called Diwali. So if I could change, I would really like to have so many teddy bears and so many toys, which I was very fond of that time. So when I grew up, after my marriage, the first thing I always used to do whenever I used to visit any country for a conference, I always used to get a soft toy for my children, because this is what I wanted for myself when I was a child.
Last question. If you could go back in time and tell your child self one thing, what would it be?
To have patience, like which was not there in me that time. I also wanted to have this, that, so many things whenever I used to see my rich friends or colleagues, to have that. And so I used to feel very impatient, and I used to compare myself that I don't have that stuff which I wanted to have. So I would like to tell that have patience, and in life you will get everything eventually. Maybe little slow, but that was something which was lacking in me that time. Why I don't have car, why I don't have fridge, why I don't have TV when I used to see people having. So I think we should learn to have patience and gradually acquire whatever we want in life.
Thank you so much for your
Thank
time.
you. You're welcome.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit on post notifications. Just a few little buttons that really help so much. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.